In this video, I'm going to show you how to add data to the IADS Post-Test Explorer system. Post-Test Explorer operates on a client-server architecture, and it's the server part of the system where you add and manage all of your flight data. Right now, we're looking at the data page of the server application, and ideally, your server is installed either on the same machine where your flight data is located, or on a machine with fast network access to that flight data. And so the way Post-Test Explorer works is that it operates on this concept of root data folders, where you have your flight data segregated into root folders for a specific aircraft. And you're going to tell Post-Test Explorer, this is the root folder of all of my flight data. It's associated with this specific aircraft. And once it knows where to look, the system will then dive into that folder and search through any folders and subfolders that exist in that root folder and add all of that flight information into the system. And then after that, it will also continuously monitor that folder for new flights, so that if you add another flight later, after you've already added the folder to the system, it'll automatically pick any new flights you put in there up and ingest them automatically. So to begin the process of adding data, you click on this Add Root Data Folder button, and that's going to bring a wizard up that will step us through this entire process. And the first step of that process is to pick the aircraft that you are associating with this root data folder. And we have a collection of pre-selected aircrafts here. If your aircraft isn't in the list, that's okay. You can just simply select custom and then type in whatever the name of your aircraft is here in the text box. Now, once you've picked your aircraft, you can go on to the next page, which is where we actually browse to the where the root data folder is located. And again, ideally that's either on the same machine as the server or on a network attached machine that the server has access to, fast access ideally. So we're going to browse to that root data folder. I'm going to browse to my root data folder here with some demo data. It has 2 folders and each folder has about 5 flights each, but I'm going to pick the root folder, the top level, because the system will go in and automatically scan all of those subfolders for any flights that exist below the root. So I have my root folder here. Now I'm going to click next. And now on this page, I need to choose what sort of format is my data in. What archive reader am I going to use to read this data? Now, if you are reading just standard IADS data archives, then the default option here, the IADS archive reader, is all you need to select. That'll be the default, and you can leave that alone. The server does have an API that you can write custom readers against if you need to import data from other sources like CSV files or HDF5, Parquet. That can be done as well. If you need to do that, generally it's a good idea to reach out to support, and our support team will help you get going on that. But for now, we're just going to go with the easy option here. We're just importing IADS data. We're going to leave the archive reader as IADS archive reader. Press next. Now on this page, we can choose to exclude specific subfolders that exist in our root folder if we don't want them. They might contain extraneous data that we don't want to include in our search and analysis processing. So there's 2 options here. The first option is to auto-detect and exclude data from telemetry sources. And you might want to exclude telemetry sources because telemeter data, it can have dropouts, wild points, and other disruptive phenomena that might contribute to incorrect search and analysis results. So the system can auto-detect that and automatically exclude it if you want. Additionally, you can also exclude subdirectories that contain a specific word or phrase. This is useful when you maybe use a specific naming convention in your subfolders and you know there's a certain naming convention of folder that you want to exclude from the search and analysis process. And if you want to do that, you can click on this check mark and enter the string or word or phrase that's associated with the folders that you want to exclude. But these are both optional options. If you don't need either one of them, you can leave them both blank. You make your selections, you press next. And then here is a page that kind of summarizes everything that you've picked. It shows us what aircraft we've picked, what our root folder is. Are we excluding telemetry data? Do we have any subdirectories we're excluding? Which archive reader we're using? You can review that information, and if it's all okay, you can press finish. If it's not okay, you can go back and make any adjustments you need. But from here, I am just going to pick finish because I'm done. And now you can see the table down here. The system has added our root folder to this table. And if you go to the status page, you can see that the summarization process has begun. And so what this summarization process is doing is it's going and it's mining the entire root folder that you added. It's finding all of the flights in there, and it is processing all of that data and indexing it and optimizing it for fast search and analysis for when clients connect and make data requests. So it found 10 flights in my root folder here, and it's going through each one and summarizing each flight. You can see the completion process here in the completion status column. You can see how far along each flight is in the summarization process. This process can take a while depending on the speed of your server, the number of flights you have, and how big each archive is. Obviously, the bigger the archive is, the more data there is, the longer this is going to take. But you can mitigate that by increasing the hardware specs on your server, more processing power, more RAM, things like that. But this is going to go through, it's going to mine and summarize all of my data, and then once these are all complete, the data has now been successfully added to the system, and now clients can connect and request data, do searches, run analysis, and generate reports. And that's it. That is how you get IADS data into the IADS Post Test Explorer system.